Hi, my name is Margaret Kelly. I'd like to talk to you today about a book called John by Cynthia Lennon. The book is an autobiography and memoir of Cynthia Lennon and her relationship with John Lennon, of course, the Beatle. It follows the rise of the Beatles as well as the beginning of Cynthia's relationship with John in the early 1960s, where they met in art school. She follows them all the way through the early Beatles years, so we see them in London, in New York, in India, and all throughout the beginning of their career. You get to see a lot of details that you wouldn't normally see because, of course, Cynthia has an insider view on the way that it all happened. The book reads as though you were talking to your mom about when she met your dad, except, I guess, with a few of the more juicy details, and of course, if your mom happened to be married to a rock star. The book is interesting as a Beatles fan because it shows the Beatles in a light that you wouldn't normally see them. Now, if you're a John Lennon fan, I wouldn't necessarily say that it's a bad read, but it may make you look at things a little bit more differently than you have previously. The book itself follows the Beatles all the way from the 1960s, their first performances in Hamburg, through their first shows in America, the shows in India, shows all over the world, and then, of course, it follows John's life through his marriage and the subsequent breakup of the marriage and his later relationship with Yoko Ono. Cynthia Lennon does cover their relationship with Yoko Ono to a certain extent, in so much as she was involved in it. Unfortunately, shortly after John became involved with Yoko Ono, he was shot in front of the Dakota Building in New York. And so it does talk a little bit about what happened after that, as far as his sons, Julian and Sean, and their relationships with her and with Yoko. But all in all, I would say this book is a fairly easy read that lets you inside the lives of the Beatles. Even if you don't know a lot about them, it does give you sort of an insight to the music scene in the UK in the 60s and 70s, and of course the music scene here in North America at the same point in time, and the way that things happen to be. I really enjoy the descriptions of the way that their lives worked and the way that it was touring with the band. It is a really great book if you like the Beatles or if you don't like the Beatles. If you don't like the Beatles, it's sort of a tabloid before there were tabloids. Anyway, thank you for listening and have a good morning.